What is going on, race fans? My name is Jared Haas, and welcome into this week's edition of FrenchStretch.com's NASCAR Mailbox, where I answer your questions that you have on your mind. Let's dig into it after this weekend of the Truex brothers sweeping at Dover. And this question comes from Skywarn Storm Chasers. They ask, what are your thoughts on Chastain running over Poole? Martin Truex Jr. has been needing a win for a while. Do you think this is the start to many wins or a one-hit wonder? Will Denny Hamlin catch a break and get a win? So, obviously, three questions there. First thought with Ross Chastain. Still with the aggressive nature of Ross Chastain, it's still too early in the race to kind of do that. Understandably, Brennan Poole, kind of a similar situation with Denny Hamlin. Going in the corner, seemed that Bull checked up a little bit earlier, but unfortunately, you got to give and take early in the race. You can lose a race on lap one. You can't win a race on lap one. So I think patience could have been exercised in that a mention, and unfortunately too, with Kyle Larson was taken out in this situation. You got two drivers that are upset to him, but at the end of the day, Ross Chastain said sorry, and there wasn't really anything after the race that affected Ross Chastain. Probably won't be in a penalty, but it's Ross Chastain checking himself in this place to say, do I need to be aggressive in this moment? You didn't see any issues what happened at Talladega when he was trying to shoot the hole, trying to go for the lead and making contact with Noah Gragson. But with Ross Chastain, with Brennan Poole, he's got to realize there, hey, we're still already in the race. Now on the Martin Truex Jr. topic, I think there's potential that he could reel off a couple more wins before the end of his career. This does seem like a sentiment type of weekend. You know, Ryan Truex getting his first NASCAR win between the three series, and Martin Truex Jr. finally breaking a winless streak that hasn't been really as long as some other ones in his career, but it seemed like the most needed since last year he missed the playoffs because he didn't have a win. So I think Martin Truex, there's still some juice in the tank for the number 19 team. He could go for a few more years, even though he's in his 40s. Kevin Harvick is about 4 or 5 years older than him. So Martin Truex Jr. could realistically race for another 3, 4, or 5 years and get a couple more wins in his career. And then Denny Hamlin catching a break, it's got to be going down to the execution of the pit crew. That seems to have cost Denny Hamlin these past few weeks. He's been strong and consistent. You looked even at Dover last weekend. He was up there. He's one of the top two cars that was racing with William Byron, and he was in his own zip code early in the race. There should be potential, though, for Denny Hamlin to capture the win at Kansas Speedway. Toyotas were really strong here last year. 2311 Racing swept both weekends, but Joe Gibbs Racing was up there as well. So it's the if, it's not the if, it's the when in this statement for Denny Hamlin. He'll probably catch a break. It's just when can the team execute, and he can finally go into victory lane. It's all about execution with this in the Cup Series. This next question comes from Cool Nala. They ask, should Ryan Truex and or Josh Berry have a full-time Cup ride? If so, who do you see them racing for, and how well do you think they will do? I think the first one to answer is Josh Berry. There's a lot of speculations and rumors going to the 4-car coming up with the announcement happening at Coca-Cola 600 weekend. A lot of that is speculation, but doing some logic and deduction there, Hendrick Motorsports is full. All those cyber drivers are signed beyond the 2024 season, so Hendrick Motorsports is not going to be filling up with that contract. A lot of people are speculating with Junior Motorsports, and I would have thought that Dale Earnhardt Jr. would have tried to keep Josh Berry until after the TV contracts, because Dale Jr. has been really high on Josh Berry. Josh Berry's been a really consistent, quiet driver. Kind of the spectrum of he'll get you good finishes. He's not going to be too flashy, but he's a pretty good racer. Quite the opposite of like a raw talent type of person. He just gets it up, gets it done, doesn't be too flashy. So I think Josh Berry is a very likely candidate for the number 4 car. I don't think it's going to be any other team because Stewart-Haas Racing is looking for that next big driver. And with Harvick leaving, there's not a lot to be desired for. So I very see that likely that Josh Berry is going to go to the 4 car. I don't see Hendrick Motorsports dropping one of their 4 drivers. I don't see Junior Motorsports picking up a charter before the start of the 2025 season, considering the fact that this is announced that he has a ride for 2024, rules that out. So Josh Berry likely to go to the 4. I do see Ryan Truex. There could be that potential of him taking his brother's ride of Martin Truex Jr. and Joe Gibbs Racing. But again, this is a dog-eat-dog world in the NASCAR Cup Series with charters. That's not really been growth. If you look in the last offseason, there wasn't any charters that were sold to another team. So if Ryan Truex is going to be replacing somebody is going to have to step down. It's going to depend on that. Our front stretch owns Michael Massey says it's going to be type of a Phil Parsons, Benny Parsons type of ordeal. I don't see it. Ryan Truex, if he wants to go to Cup Series, he wants to go full-time. But it's going to be tough with other drivers like Sammy Smith, John Hunter Nemechek. You even have the Tricon Garage drivers that are going to be competing for that. So Ryan Truex could be a lifer Xfinity for Joe Gibbs Racing. Might get that opportunity to go back up in the Cup Series. But I don't think he is going to be in the near future. If he was going to go into the Cup and be the next couple years. But, I mean, now is the time. Ryan Truex and Josh Berry are pretty similar in age. And now we'll wrap it up here for NASCAR Mailbox. Make sure to check out the Front Stretch YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed to have all that racing content for you. Join me next week as we will dive into the questions after the races at Kansas Speedway.
What up? It's Brad Perez. Click subscribe and watch one of the 2 videos right beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.